Item number YOS-041. Object Class Euclid. Containment Procedures. YOS-041 is to be kept in a 5-meter cell at all times. No one is to approach YOS-041 within 8 meters. In the case that YOS-041 shows starvation, it is to be fed a live animal within 2 to 5 hours. Description: YOS-041 is a humanoid entity, with devil horns, and with colors of purple, yellow, blue, and pink for skin and clothes. It stands at 4 meters tall with a weight of 250 pounds. It gains more weight if more nutrients are added. It shows signs of endless hunger and will find any type of food source that is edible. It can even try to devour a source of food while the subject is still alive. If the subject is able to reach the victim within 8 meters, it will immediately devour the victim whole and swallow it with no health issues. It will gain a bunch of weight when the subject is completely devoured. Note: by the time YOS-041 was discovered, it only gained 87 pounds. And by the time of this file being created, it now weighed 250 pounds. It will keep growing its weight by this time. It is unknown if YOS-041 will eventually get diabetes and sometime later will experience death. The possibility of it being immune and immortal is very much likely by many staff. That was YOS-041 everyone, thanks to the person that requested this anomaly. If you want to see another one, request in the comments below. See you next time. Item number YOS-066. Object Class Euclid. Containment Procedures. YOS-066 is to be within a 5 meter by 5 meter no photo. YOS-0.
Alright, so look, this redistricting thing, it's not a...
Any type 6 is a 5-meter tall humanoid-like figure with canine-like features, including 3-meter-long ears, a tail about 5 meters, with purple fur, and yellow skin. With facial features like pink eyes, a blue nose, and pink spots on its snout, and last with clothing like green trousers with suspenders with pink buttons, and blue gloves and shoes. It shows signs of low intelligence, shows weak muscles, although still capable of dealing harm to subjects, and its arms are extremely long, measuring 6 meters long. It is capable of opening its jaw to 7 meters than any other living subjects. It's not considered to be sapient due to low functions of the brain. When it's not triggered, it's in its docile state, beginning to emit soft sobbing sounds, and usually paces to the corner of the left wall. It is shown to be extremely shy, and tries to ignore and stay away from any living subject as possible. When direct contact is made with YOS-066's face, the subject is referred to as YOS-066-1. After minutes of contact, it will show severe emotional distress, and eventually go into its hostile state, and will start screaming incoherently. After several minutes, it will start tracking down a presumed victim. Long distances from YOS-066-1 doesn't seem to affect YOS-066 in any way. It somehow senses the location of YOS-066-1. No object that is capable of stopping YOS-066 from reaching its target is successful at doing so. Upon arriving at YOS-066-1's location, it will ruthlessly attack, kill, and YOS-066-1. It will 100% leave no other traces of YOS-066-1 other than the blood it caused. After minutes of the assassination of the YOS-066-1 victim, it will go back to its docile state after 3 more minutes. It will then attempt to go back to its original pacing location. Only a specific number of agents are to retrieve YOS-066 back to its container, and to place an object on its face to not cause another outbreak. Dr. Frankfurt started clarifying that YOS-066 is to be terminated as soon as possible due to its reckless and unstoppable behavior, also because many people kept looking at a picture of it. The O7 Council denied this request, and will accept this request in the near future if they specifically see the entity possess more capabilities. Addendum 01. AD class numbered 8506 was sent to a tall building suspended off ground from 36 feet up in the air. He was requested to look at a picture of YOS-066 and draw it on a piece of blank paper. Apparently, a drawn illustration of YOS-066 does not provoke the effects of the entity. After the request was complete, he was ordered to send the paper to the Site-13 facility by using a type of mail sender. After several hours, YOS-066 breached containment and sprinted to the location of D-8506. It leaped up 36 feet off the ground and broke in the interior and terminated D-8506. Addendum 02. In May 21, 1956, staff seemed to notice the activity within the cube. After hours of witnessing this, the cube broke apart and immediately deterred the staff to look away. This was eventually leading to the staff telling the O7 Council and adding more containment procedures to the entity. This was later confirmed. That was YOS-066 everyone, thanks to the person that requested this anomaly. If you want to see another one, request in the comments below. See you next time. Item number. YOS-057. Object class. Euclid. Containment procedures. YOS-057 is to be kept in a 7-meter container with soundproof glass surrounding the inner area. Interacting with YOS-057 is not to be attempted unless for testing purposes, and personnel shouldn't be within the soundproof interior by any means. Description. YOS-057 is a humanoid entity resembling a large canine with purplish fur, yellow skin, pink eyes and blue nose, wears gloves and shoes, green pants with suspenders, and lacking a tail. The entity stands up at 5 feet, and weighs 25 pounds. YOS-057 affects nearby subjects within a 3-mile radius by emitting a noise very deeply. Upon this happening, subjects will report feeling something inside their bodies. YOS-057 will repeatedly emit this noise, making the weird feeling inside the body feel even worse. Once the noise goes off from the entity 8 to 10 times, the subject explodes 3 seconds later with no traces found within the body. YOS-057 will remain in a docile state within 11 to 16 hours. Addendum 01. YOS-057 was found in an undisclosed place, and it was known that an unnamed person once inhabited the place. It was taken in Site-09 for examination. Addendum 02. In May 4, 1997, D-8790 was taken in YOS-057's chamber and interacted with the entity. The subject reported the feeling in his body, and soon exploded after the 9th emitted noise YOS-057 made. There were no traces of the subject in the area. That was YOS-057 everyone, thanks to the person that requested this anomaly. If you want to see another one, request in the comments below. See you next time. Item number. YOS-013. Object class. Safe. Containment procedures. YOS-013 is kept in a 5-meter humanoid cell. She is allowed to leave her cell within 5 to 8 hours. After the limit of hours is up, she must be placed back in the cell accompanied by MTF Unit 08. The field must be under observation until another entity gains the abilities like the subject. Description: YOS-013 is a 5 feet tall humanoid female with yellowish skin, pinkish eyes, eyelashes, pink horns, and eyebrows, purple hair, green dress, pink bow tie, bluish gloves, and shoes. Subject claims to be 21 years old and seems to have a calm personality. She has multiple abilities she uses sometimes, including manipulation, strength, summons lightning, glowing, and the rising of sharp material. She claims she got these skills when being on a specific field during the night. She often uses these abilities when she's in danger, or if someone else is in danger, so she protects the specific victim and kills the attacker. She is also able to speak in full sentences in English. An interview was planned with her. Addendum 013, 1. YOS-013 was found in a field after gaining her abilities. She was brought to Site-03 for questioning. Addendum 013, 2. YOS-013 was sent in the interview room to give out answers about how she got these abilities. Begin log.
Hello YOS-013.
Alice Hermes, please.
Okay Alice, we saw you in some random field, and you seem to have some interesting abilities. Is there a reason why you have these?
No clue, I just went into a field and I have unusual skills now.
Do you think it had something to...
Item number: YOS-103. Object Class: Euclid. Containment Procedures: YOS-103 is to remain in a 135-meter container with the ceiling not needed in order for it to completely fit in the cell at Site-96. The subject must be incapacitated when it shows hostility, and provided with recently deceased organisms to put in its dormant state at all times. No one is to enter the container when YOS-103 is feeding on the organisms, and should wait for 2 to 3 hours for it to finish. If its feast is complete, the entity is allowed to be studied. Description: YOS-103 is a large potentially sentient entity that takes the appearance of a common toilet found in bathrooms/restrooms. It is 65 feet tall, and its beak is 98 meters wide. It has an electrical sense of sight, and is shown displaying a robotic type of eyes that allows it to see its surroundings. On the edges of the lid of the toilet entity is a row of razor-sharp teeth. They can easily tear through an organism's flesh and also are capable of tearing them in half. It also has elastic limbs that function as arms and legs. Inside the entity, there doesn't seem to be any water that is always present in toilets. Instead, an acid, identified as gastric acid, is present inside YOS-103. Subject is also very hostile, and will go after its specified victim and use every part of its body to terminate them. It will use its enlarged foot to crush them to death, pick them up and devour them with its teeth, and simply pour gastric acid on them until it completely strips away all of the victim's flesh. The subject will be in its dormant state when a source of meat from recently deceased organisms is eaten when present. The subject can be easily incapacitated. It feels harm when a subject uses the flusher to push back the gastric acid, which causes harm to YOS-103, and it will eventually lose consciousness. It will regain consciousness within a minimum of 3 to 10 hours. Addendum: due to its size, testing is not to be attempted. That was YOS-103 everyone, thanks to the person that requested this anomaly. If you want to see another one, request in the comments below. See you next time.
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stocks I share are also free. The techniques and strategies I teach are also free. So please don't ask me if I charge a fee, and don't say it's a scam. I only need popularity and word of mouth, not the so-called member.
Item number: YOS-552. Object Class: Keter. Containment Procedures: YOS-552 is to be within an 8-meter humanoid cell on all 4 sides. If she attempts to escape the cell, she must be incapacitated immediately and returned back to the area. She must be provided with a rather decorated adult-like room. The room must require a king-sized bed with a flower-patterned bedsheet, with cotton pillows, and a wooden bed frame. A wooden closet that keeps additional clothing that must look the same all the time. A small bathroom with a sink and shower, and also must come with lotion and hairspray. A dresser with a mirror on top, and must be accompanied with multiple perfume containers that must be acceptable to her, a eyelash comb and a hairbrush. And must be accompanied by pink lipsticks, and even kiss of death lipsticks, later designated as YOS 321 instances, if necessary. She must be given food within 4 to 8 hours a day. YOS 552 is to be interviewed with caution, and personnel should not make eye contact with her for more than 6 minutes. Her interaction with other YOS subjects must be limited between 6 to 10 hours. Description: YOS 552 is a female humanoid that stands at 1.5 meters tall. She is also 5 feet tall. She possesses yellowish skin, with purple hair with a pink glowing halo and pink horns on it. She has pink eyes with eyelashes that measure 9 millimeters long, and with pink eyebrows, a pink mole and pinkish lips. She wears a green outfit that somewhat resembles a flapper dress and a sweater, but she is mostly seen with her green cloth covering almost near her chest and most of her breasts, and with strings attached to the torso part of the cloth that covers most of her lower part of her arms. She also wears blue gloves and shoes, and stitched a pink bow tie on the upper central part of her dress. YOS 552 is capable of speech, but commonly prefers not to speak unless she finds something appeasing to her, or if she is annoyed by something distracting her from her goals. YOS 552's behavior depends on her action she does when eye contact with an organism/object is made to her. She can be seen as kind of nice, and is often cooperative with other subjects she doesn't find as a victim. It is seen that YOS 229 and YOS 552 do not seem to despise each other, and kind of see each other as partners or siblings. See Addendum 552-1. She can be seen as manipulative, and often sees subjects as appeasing to her, and will try to interact with them to her benefit. If eye contact is made, she will leap to the subject, now turned victim, and kiss the victim with skin contact in a random part of the body, and will cause each vital organ within the subject to cease functioning, presumably killing them. YOS 552 will repeat this action if she finds a suitable subject she finds acquirable. Addendum 552-1. Full exploration for YOS 552's containment. Okay, unfortunately, I can't possibly cover the rest of this addendum, due to the fact there is too much redaction on this event unlike the rest who don't have too much redaction on them, so instead, I'll summarize it. Hope you don't mind. The Foundation investigated in some sort of headquarters building due to people disappearing, and some agent decided to investigate while accompanied by a doctor. He searched 5 floors, but 1 floor caused the audio to be corrupted. It is unknown why this occurred. After the 3rd floor is reached, some woman was heard. It was coming for the 5th floor, so the agent went into some business room and told her about the incident and questioned her, but the woman killed him with a kiss, and new staff are now taking control. By the way, the agent investigated on the 13th of June 1987. On the 14th of June, however, the unit of Mobile Task Force numbered 55. The woman was eventually contained due to tranquilizing her, and sent to Site 12, but one of the members died from thereafter. And that's how YOS 552 came into existence. Well, that was unusual. This only comes up randomly when I'm slowly running out of time, or because of too much redaction to put the sound in. Anyways, moving on. Addendum 552-2. YOS 552 was sent to interact with other YOS subjects. One of them was within YOS 229 cell, and something unusual happened. They do not show signs of hostility towards each other. Instead, they communicated with each other for about 7 hours until leaving each other. It is unknown if they became. If you want to see another one, request in the comments below. Again, I know this video did a quick summarization due to a certain problem I rarely see. If I see something that is quite complex, I will just summarize that, so sorry about this. Anyways, see you next time. Item number: YOS 507. Object Class: Euclid. Containment Procedures: YOS 507 is to be kept within a 6-meter humanoid cell on all 4 sides. Inner windows must be soundproof to prevent an effect from it. Communications with YOS 507 must be limited no more than 3 minutes, and personnel are to immediately leave the cell after. Only personnel with level 4 clearance are to interact with YOS 507 at any time. Personnel who are affected are to be placed in quarantine for 4 to 6 hours. Description: YOS 507 is a humanoid entity, with a rather flat face, colored yellow, with purple fur on its forehead, the rest of its body, and the back of its head, with 1.5-meter horns facing down. It also wears purple boots, with a pink bow tie on its torso. It has a mouth that can open up at a 90-degree angle, and functions similar to a puppet, and also shows no teeth. YOS 507 has confirmed that his rather small eyes make it difficult for it to see its surrounding environment, and often doesn't move at a certain amount of time. YOS 507 is also capable of speech, and it often likes to speak in order to keep it company, but he mostly prefers to speak with other people or sometimes animals. But if a person interacts or talks with YOS 507 for more than 3 minutes, they will keep talking with it non-stop, and will stop if their mouth starts aching or becomes tired. YOS 507 shows enjoyment when it talks with others, and will keep talking to others or himself. and show no signs of his mouth aching or becoming tired. Addendum 507-1. Yo's 507's discovery. A woman named started bringing attention to the Foundation when she saw a rather communicative creature that seems to be enjoying talking to her, interacting with YOS 507. You start liking to talk.
Well,
and there was no need for quarantine after this. Additional notes for description. Another one, request in the comments below. See you next time.
This video will come out in the 22nd, the video is still not finished, so I need more time to finish, after this video has been published if finished. If you want, you can remind me to make another one by posting in the comments, and I will look at it and make an animation on it, but most of them will be my decisions. Anyways, see you later. Sorry if this is so short though.
Item number, YOS 499. Object Class, Keter. Containment Procedures. The inner chamber must require multiple walls from inner to outer to effectively contain YOS 499. The walls must not be thinner than 8 meters thick. If it is not thicker by 8 meters, it must be replaced with a new wall with the correct thickness of the wall. Direct contact with YOS 499 must not be attempted and the walls must be strong enough to prevent the entity's properties from taking effect. YOS 499 must be kept at a dormant state at all times, and its hostile state must not be provoked. Description: YOS 499 appears to be a vaguely shaped humanoid entity that appears to barely take the shape of a canine, but no identifiable features can be seen, due to the moving structure that is present on its mass. The structure present on its mass appears to be standard TV static that is always kept silent at all times, but will always sound fine is normally just.
If you also want so many Robux, then I will tell you how. You have to download RKBUX app from App Store. After opening the app, you have to write R in the search bar above. After this, you have to select Robux. Then you have to select the option below. You have to click on the Done button here. The website will open in front of you. Here you have to download one app and open it like I am doing here.
Item number, YOS 229. Object Class, Keter. Containment Procedures. YOS 229 is to be kept within an indestructible wall made of steel that must be connected to the floor at all times. It must be strong enough to prevent YOS 229's abilities from taking effect to it. No contact with YOS 229 must be attempted, and the cell must be completely locked down if contact is made. YOS 229 must be observed for its apparent behavioral changes. If its eyes appear white, the cell must be in lockdown. If its eyes turn back to a dark red, the cell is allowed to be unlocked. Description: YOS 229 is a humanoid that resembles a middle-aged man, but its entire shape appears red in color, but in different shades. Its cap, head, face, hair, and clothing appears to be covered in red, with the exception of the eyes, even though they appear red, but can turn into a bright white if an organism is within its proximity. When its eyes grow white when a subject is present, it will unlock its anomalous properties. It will pick up the victim with its hands, apparently using telekinesis to deal harm. It will repeatedly bang the victim with any surroundings that can deal harm to them if strong force is made to it. It can also tear the victim apart if it wants to. If the subject is killed, it will return to its inactive state. When a human male is killed, 52 entered its cell. It didn't go into its active state and didn't attempt to harm her, they were simply communicative, before YOS 552 left the cell. Thanks to the person who requested this YOS, request for another if you like, see you later. Item number, YOS 728, is to be limited to make sure it's within the cell at all times. No one is to make contact with YOS 728 in a 0.5 mile radius. If it occurs, the area is to be locked until the subject is terminated. Anytime that YOS 728 sends subjects to its location must be tracked and immediately removed. YOS 728 is to be tranquilized if necessary. Description: YOS-728 is a humanoid entity with devil features. It is colorful with purple, yellow, pink, and blue features. It has a mouth that can stretch to 1.5 meters long, and uses it to vocalize a sound similar to that used in a lullaby. But subjects will report that they feel uneasy upon hearing it, and often at times try to stay away from it. Often at times, it emits those sounds when it's dormant, but emits it loudly when it's hostile. When it's hostile, it will deal harm to the subject, and also use its anomalous abilities to lift up the subject and deal harm that way. YOS-728 rarely sends its victims to its dimension. Subject Exploit closing and see you later.
Level 3-273 clearance.
73 is being kept in a 4 meter by 4 meter section. YOS-273 is a canine humanoid, with sharp edges of fur, razor-sharp teeth, and clothing, fur-colored purple, face-colored yellow, overalls colored green, and gloves, shoes, and nose-colored blue. YOS-273 seems to possess the behavior of a random wild animal, although it hisses like a cat when provoked, and will attack anyone who attempts to attack or harm it in any way, or when it sees them as a threat. It possesses sharp claws piercing its gloves and will use them for self-defense or for aggressive action. It is reasonably easy to incapacitate, as tranquilizer darts seem to cause a huge effect on it. Addendum 273-1. YOS-273 was discovered near Site 44, and personnel are to retrieve it by any means necessary. MTF Unit 58 went outside the facility in order to retrieve 62 trailer if you like. See you later. Item number YOS-696. Object Class Keter. Containment Procedures. YOS-696 is to be kept within a bulletproof steel container at all times, and it must be connected to a hard surface to prevent any damages from occurring. Once a week, YOS-696 is to be required a small object to infect with. Objects that are infected with it should not reach the 30 object limit. Interaction with YOS-696 must not be attempted, except for testing purposes. Description: YOS-696 is an entity that seems to be completely enveloped by a crimson-red color, and it often breaks off from it at times. It uses this to make its anomalous properties stable, and has the ability to levitate, summon lightning, and completely envelop victims in a crimson-ray felt corrosion while being incapacitated. It was taken to Site other if you like. See you later. Today I'm going to show you some YOSs I've drawn throughout the years, because I'm out of ideas. But some of them are kind of unsuitable for you, so I might censor some of those photos. Don't ask me why I made them this way, please. By the way, this is 000. This is literally just a bullet bill holding a knife, and for some reason has arms and legs. Nest is 002, Luigi looking butt, but with hollow eyes that kind of look badass. 003 looks like a Koopa Troopa that seems like it's going to lose its shit at any moment. 029, she's just an apple with a red feminine body. 229 looks like Super Mario, but this design is supposed to look like the old-timey design of Mario in the 1980s. 551, you should recognize this pose. 552, be honest, who you do think she's supposed to be? This is supposed to be the inspiration of SCP-682, but this is YOS-682. 728, why your mouth built like that? 900, this design is taken from this photo. 4411, annoying ass bitch. 5036, it didn't get its drawn design ever since it appeared, but I decided to give it a 1 anyway. 6728, specifically the third part of it. I've made a slight mistake on this, because the recently made file of it mentions that the second instance are human body parts, specifically the limbs. Just imagine these things around its body are both arms and legs. First of the 001 proposals, this is Jim, the creator of some of the anomalous objects similar to Wondertainment. Another 001 proposal, This was just traced over and then painted differently from another image. 013. This was changed sometime, but I will show you the old version. This occurrence might only appear once. 041. What a fat ass. 057. Bork. 053. Peppa Pig looking ass. Seems familiar though. 066. 096 and 066 are now in a gay relationship. lol. 103. Seems familiar, don't you think? 273. You not a cat. 402. He is transgender, I guess. 432. She loves puppies. Yeah. 499. I don't even know who his mofo is supposed to be. 507. Wyoming.
Joey, shut the fuck up.
Okay, damn girl. Anyway, 539. Mud is bad kids. 650. Such a gentle girl. 666.
Muahaha.
696. This one doesn't count as a copy. 935. This woman is among beauty. 1050. This is what a big boy is. 1051. Ugly zombies. 1053. Child with a thirst for blood. 1063. 1157. A real magician, or not. 1163. Cute boy. 1235. The baby. 1442. Guinness World Records has announced that she has the world's longest hair. 1473. A child but not actually a child, to be honest. 1504. An adolescent that causes havoc. 1514. Spy woman. 1602. Lonely as fuck. 2006. 999 looking ass. I think that's all I have to show you for now. Like I said, this video was later. Goodbye.